Jocelyn.
I'm Caden.
And we
are
best
of kin.
And I am unwell today. But you know what? This is kind of giving me like a sultry, sexy old voice. But
Easier to edit.
shots fired. No, I'm feeling quite under the weather, so this is going to be an audio only. I believe Sienna got me sick, and that is what is to be expected as a mother. Anytime your child is sick, she learned for the first time to cough with their hand over her mouth, but prior to that, she was coughing right in my face and into my mouth.
The worst sounding.
No, her coughs.
Those
I'm like,
kids
are
in
you
school that
choking? No.
come sick and it's all mucus, or
No, it's straight mucus.
I don't know how to describe it, but
she was coughing so violently like a couple days ago.
yeah, or it starts to sound like she's about to choking throw up
on her mucus. I'm like, good fucking God, are you okay?
It's interesting because it's been a week
it has been a week.
Or more.
It's been since they went to the park like last Friday.
It was before that, even.
Oh, you're right. It was probably like last Wednesday. So I do think it takes longer for kids and their immune systems to get better. Sure. I already feel like I've gotten the worst of what I have. I feel like tomorrow I'll start feeling better. But
maybe, yeah. It might be the same thing that like a lot of people were getting.
Oh, and everyone's getting sick.
It's just the winter.
It's just that winter and the wind blowing around them germs.
Or some minor virus.
Bird flu.
It's crazy that we can get sick by things we can't even see.
I know.
With the naked eye.
Under the microscope.
Invisible demons.
Coming to get me. No, it's so unfortunate because even just not doing video, like I'm not gonna sound great either, you know. I look like shit, I sound like shit, I feel like shit.
I got another compliment and a new listener.
From who?
A coworker.
Oh, okay. It's always people we know, unfortunately. I don't think we've broken past that inner circle yet of people that don't know us that listen, but
I'll shout her out.
What'd they say?
Gio.
What'd they say?
My fave bartender. No, she was just saying like, oh, you started following the podcast, and she really likes it.
Oh my God.
And she thought it was just funny that it might be like an interesting dynamic because you're gonna learn, like, if you're listening back to the beginning, right? You're gonna learn so much about me.
Yeah.
Or just me outside of work.
Yeah.
And so it's just funny because like that's what happens. You just start to know someone, but you don't know that.
You don't know them, like. Well, right. Everyone knows you better than they know you.
Well, it's like a podcaster you really like. I mean, you know them pretty well.
Yeah, it's true.
Just hours of talking and
intimately.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess we have broken that inner circle then, because I would say like the inner circle that listens is like our like good friends and family, and then the outer circle is like coworkers, maybe more acquaintances, maybe people that we don't really spend a lot of time with. I feel like we've at least reached that.
Yeah.
Like your friend's girlfriend told me that she liked it, and I was like, oh, at Elefante. She's like, oh yeah, I listen to your pod. I'm like, hey. But also, when people say I listen to your podcast, I assume it's maybe like they've listened to one episode. It's not like they're weekly listeners, because I see the stats.
Or saw a clip.
Or saw literally one clip.
Our last YouTube did, I think, 1 view. I'm not even lying.
No, I know. It just really depends.
But again, I don't
look.
But also not like
we're not doing it for the views
anymore.
Yeah, totally. I'm not doing it for the views and listens. I'm doing it because I have so much inside of me that I need to release.
Just doing things without distraction.
It is nice.
Straight conversation.
Straight talk. That's what we should
Or I need to try and get better at talking. No more filler words, which would be very difficult.
That would be difficult.
No ums or like. But even the most intelligent will even use fillers.
Totally.
It's just you processing your thoughts.
Yeah, like. I mean, that's the thing. Otherwise, what? You're processing in silence, and then people are like, hello? You know? Especially with the podcast, I guess. It's like, if we have a couple filler words, you know that I'm at least working on my thoughts.
Yeah.
Because if I'm just like.
I do
people are like, hello?
Yeah, like that's wild, that's crazy.
Wow.
Or what's another big like phrase I say I've noticed? Like in the sense of, or I say
In
like,
the sense that
yeah,
a lot of people say
in the
that.
sense that
I've also noticed this time at season 2, you've been covering your mouth a lot with your hand.
maybe it's my beard. I just play with
Oh, probably,
my facial hair.
Yeah, you go like that more than before.
Yeah, I just
I'm
play
not
with my
talking
facial
shit.
hair.
I'm just an observation. That's gotta be it. It's so crazy. I looked back. I mean, it is crazy how much we've recorded in a fairly short amount of time since we started. It's been a fairly short amount of time, relatively. But looking even back a couple of months ago, I'm like, we were fully different people. Like, even just the ones at my old apartment, like, we
The
were
Hinge episode.
fully different people. I was just looking back at our
The Hinge
thumbnails.
episode makes me cringe.
Why?
It's just like it's just so weird that.
Wait, why? Gotta look it up.
What do you mean?
Just like what we look. Is it what we
The
look like or what we
contents
talked
of
about?
it. Yeah, it's just funny. Like,
And that is our highest viewed one, I think. Highest viewed video.
I mean, I guess it was a decent idea.
Wait, what's cringy about it to you?
Well, I mean, for one, maybe just my uh in hindsight, looking back to my pickiness,
Yeah. Judgmentalness, perhaps, if you will.
profiling.
Profiling.
Or like, oh,
Totally.
you wear that, so you don't like this. You know, it's just
Oh
like
my
big
God, I know.
assumptions.
So picky, so picky. And so, like, yeah. Like, oh, you have that in your bio, you must be this type of person. And I know you're not right for me.
However, I never was gonna meet anyone on there, but
Not in IRL, anyways. Like, you were never actually going to, like, take anyone out, like, on a date that you met.
in
that scenario. That was kind of just, like, testing the
that experiment.
waters, an experiment. Kind of similar to, what did we just do? Oh, that thirst trap video. Like, you got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who were like, take me on a date. You were never going to take any of them on a date.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
Which is funny.
We'll have to do a year anniversary of that.
Hopefully also, yeah,
slimmer.
that's a good idea.
Do a year later.
1 year later. And Lily will be in it. Shaking her ass. People did not like. It's funny because we cut clips from the last episode.
The dog one.
People did not like that, and by did not like it, I don't mean like commented on it, like didn't watch it. They were probably like, no respect.
Yeah, I had
like the least engagement we've ever gotten on any clip we've ever posted in our lives.
I had 3 people comment on my Instagram.
Oh, really? Like a DM saying what? Like, you're heartless?
Big red flag if you don't like red dogs.
I know.
Red dogs.
If you don't like them right now.
Dogs. And I said,
okay.
Well, I said I like some.
Well, that's the thing. It's like people do see that as the biggest red flag. And I have friends who listen to this podcast that probably are like, you're a bitch.
He's a dog trainer. So he loves dogs.
That's the thing. There's a spectrum. As
and
with all
then
things.
someone just did laughing, so I think they laughed in agreement.
I mean, that's the thing. People are afraid to speak up.
Well, they know who I'm talking about because
the pit bull at work.
2 people that commented I do work with. So
who has the ugly dog? Like, tell us now.
No.
Oh, Ryan DM'd me and was like, Haley's judging you hard because they have a white dog.
Oh yeah, that crusty one.
Actually, that one passed away. They have there's a new white dog. A new crusty white.
I think growing up, maybe it was just
maybe it was the turnover in which we had dogs that were all such very
it's like a fad, right?
Living
alone, single, have a cute puppy.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to be at home so much.
That's the thing. To really give it the time it requires.
A full development.
And I am home so much. And I don't want to spend my time doing that. I'm already developing a human.
I get the cat hype, but
yeah.
The thing I do not like is, I mean, they're bipolar in a sense too. You know?
Oh, it's like Pet me when I invite you,
Yeah,
not when you want to be
and then you
petting
pick
me.
them up, and I
You're like,
mean, even if
meow.
you like give them all love all day, they can still fuck you up with a
Yes.
scratch.
No, literally, remember Toulouse like smacking Krista in the
Yeah,
face like that Thanksgiving? She was like, oh,
right on
so
her eye.
cute.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, no, no. Like, don't pick him up. He doesn't like to be held. And
it
then
took
meow,
forever for Bo to
to
adjust
open
to me.
up.
I know. What
Yeah.
a long,
A
painful
long
process.
journey. Just like barely putting the top of your hand out, like, sniff, sniff.
Yeah, or
Want some
creeping in
more?
the room.
Yeah. That boy. That boy, Bo. Anyways, we don't need to go on and on, but I just thought that was funny. People don't love that opinion.
Rage bait.
And that's why it was a hot take. And today's takes, dare I say hotter? I believe in telepathy.
Whoa.
What do you believe?
I think we have access to so many things that are just real, but that we deem impossible.
Mm-hmm.
But all things are impossible until they're not.
Sure. I feel like our brains are so much more powerful. And we all know we don't have full access to like our entire subconscious, our entire brain on a regular basis. So, this phenomenon with the telepathy tapes of all of these non speaking autistic individuals claiming to telepathically talk to one another. I mean, in
Not
one
only
of,
that, but I mean,
I mean,
seeing
talking
things
to
that
people that aren't non
are not in
speaking.
their sight. Well, yeah.
Yes. Seeing things, seeing literally being able to see the other side. They're able to see people who have passed. There was like someone who had passed on that there was this couple, and one of the male in the couple has passed away. And I think I'm getting this probably maybe a little bit wrong, but I think it was the female of the couple saw him on the other side, like in her eyes, like with her, like saw him like building a house next to her, like so that they could like
Mm,
stay together. Like
in
they
another
can
realm,
literally see the
almost.
other side and knows like they know exactly what the fuck is up with it. And the most interesting phenomenon, in my opinion, from the whole telepathy tapes is what they call the talk on the hill, which is all of them, almost all of them that they interviewed, all talked about the hill, going to this hill where all in their subconscious, all of the telepathic, non-speaking autistic kids go to a hill to talk, and they all telepathically communicate in this one location, states away from each other. They're not all together in the same room and like going to this hill to talk. They are states away from each other. They are meeting up in their subconscious mind and telepathically communicating and can communicate. And then that person will like know what they were saying on the hill. They're like, oh, yeah, on the hill, we said this. And then they'll go to that other family and be like, yeah, confirmed. You know, that to me is one of the most compelling things is the talk on the hill, and that is something that everybody was talking about, knowing about
But
each of these different
that
families.
was not something that was taught. It was just what they're born with, right?
That's the thing. They weren't taught like, okay, in your mind, go to a hill to
Well,
talk
that's
to
what
your
I'm
friends.
saying
Like
is
they all mentioned
we
it.
would never be able to go to that hill.
Some can. Some have said, I've been to the hill. I've been shown. You have to,
Non-autistic.
yes, you have to like be not invited, but kind of like, I think people that are not open to it
But what does
will
that
never
state
see it
look like? Is it just in your head?
in your head, telepathic. Like everything is just in your mind's eye. It's like the third eye vibes. It's like third eye blind. No, but it's like your third eye seeing things that aren't in front of you, but you can see it in your mind's eye. And I have experienced plenty of things that are not physically in front of me, but I can see. Like I do feel like I have some degree of third eye sight. I don't know if that's what it is even called or what it is, but that phenomenon is so interesting to
Intuition.
me. It's like, yeah, they call it, it's like a hidden social network among not, and that's the thing. They weren't, these non-verbal autistic individuals were not able to communicate for so long, which is why this is kind of a newer thing because technology, these keyboards and computers that are allowing them to communicate through these like this technology, it's kind of new. You know what I mean? So it's like people that doubt it, well, yeah, no shit, they weren't able to talk about it because they had no means of communication if they've been nonverbal. But now that we have new technologies with these keyboards, they're all communicating the same things. And of course, the naysayers are like, well, maybe they're being prompted, maybe they're being like, maybe it's the technology that's, I don't know, like there's a lot of ways I think that one tries to debunk it, but these telepathy tapes.
It's a weird thing to try and prove right, though. Like, oh, let's take these nonverbal autistic kids and make up that they
Well,
are
no,
telepathic.
that was yes,
Why would
I
one do
agree,
that? You know?
and I think that because people do not like things that they don't understand or can't experience themselves. Like people are like, well, I'm not telepathic, therefore telepathy isn't real. You know what I mean? People
Yeah.
always take their own experience because that's all they have to draw from instead of just like setting that aside and like realizing that the earth and everything is just much more powerful than the individual, and that these things, I mean, it's really crazy. It's really crazy. There were a lot of doubters, but then even people that used to be doubters, like a producer on the show was like kind of a doubter, and then literally seeing it, and they recorded video. They have a YouTube up with all the video of these interviews that they were doing in the podcast. So you can literally see, like, in one room, the mom's like holding up an Uno card to the camera.
Yeah,
in another
I saw
room,
that.
like he's literally saying what it is.
Even the +2 card he got.
Yes. So, and it's like, there's just no way.
Because they pulled the card and they're like, oh, wait, because it wasn't like a real card, but then
Yeah.
he still did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I saw some of those clips. I mean, that guy,
so
though,
compelling.
he could say words.
Yes, it's true.
So
There's
it wasn't completely,
again, it's
like,
a spectrum, but
mute.
it's, yes, it's just so fascinating.
Or
to me.
doing math on a
The
calculator.
math. That's the thing. They always thought that they were like savants or these prodigies, but it's literally because they're tapping into everything that is.
Or the mom saw the number
Uh-huh.
and then through the child, like touched the child,
Yeah.
like, or just held the child, and she came up with the number.
And then the question is, are they able to tap into the mom's brain to see through her eyes, or is she able to read her mind? That's kind of like another conversation. Is like, are they seeing through other people's eyes?
Seeing other point of views.
Or are they just able to literally tap into all that is and just know it all? They can know. Oh, and then some that know 10 languages, they can just be like, oh, say this in Russian. Okay. Say this and this. Okay. Like they literally know so many languages and could just recall one at the top of their mind without ever studying it. What is that? They're not even learning them. They just know them inherently. So crazy.
What's
so
different
mind-blowing
with their brains to someone who's not autistic? Is there any different, like...
We need brain scans. I mean, where do you start, right? Is that where you... Well, that's the thing.
Well,
what
like if you're to ask
a neurologist, I believe,
a question, like you know, like seeing brain activity, you know, like when there's like scans of when you experience pleasure and like what lights up, like the neurons and whatnot.
Yeah, like the brain activity. There was a neurologist on the podcast, but I'm kind of trying to remember what their role was and if it was just there to simply make sure that there was no tinkering of evidence or if they actually were doing scans. I don't recall any kind of scans being taken. But at the same time, these individuals are they have to kind of be in the mood. They get overstimulated very easily. So I can imagine being hooked up to a bunch of things. They might kind of freak out. Like they're highly sensitive individuals. They get very overstimulated in crowds. But also, if you can imagine, I would imagine that that's because they can read everyone's fucking mind. So if they're in a crowded room, hearing everyone's thoughts at once,
it's like Superman,
extremely overstimulating and needing to be then isolated and grounded and like
totally Superman as a kid.
How crazy is that? I'm gonna look up the brain scan thing because I'm not sure if they did that. Have you ever gotten those TikToks on your feed that are like intuition test? I'm holding up a card. It's a shape and a color. What's the first thing that comes to you? And then you have to like in your mind, and then they show it to you. Do you ever get those TikToks on your feed?
Oh yeah,
like intuition tests. I would say 8 times out of 10, I am correct. I'm literally like, oh, yellow triangle. And then they're like, it's a yellow triangle. I'm like, holy shit. I really do believe that everybody has the capability. Everyone has, I don't know if psychic is like a word that people don't like, but everyone has telepathic psychic abilities. And it's just a matter of tapping into that side and being open to it and practicing. I also think that could come as like a practice. Like, if everybody on Earth believed that we were telepathic and just started trying to communicate telepathically, don't you think we could all get there? We're all kind of on the same wavelength because they also describe the brain as like a radio tuning into different frequencies. So if we could all tune our brains to the same radio frequency to where we could all communicate with just our brains. What do you think? What do you think? Also, hold on, let me go back to the radio transmitter thing because there were some really weird things that happened in relation to that. I need to go back in time. Okay, so just a quick little overview of the EPIs. First episode, they presented telepathy as a legitimate form of communication, especially for, not exclusively for, non-speaking autistic individuals. These individuals often demonstrated abilities that defy our current understanding of consciousness and language. Episode 2, non-speakers have often been assumed to lack intelligence or awareness, but this podcast revealed that they have rich inner worlds and profound thoughts, telepathic abilities, and they're often ignored or dismissed simply because of how they appear, to the outside world and our own understanding of our own minds. Episode 3, consciousness may be non-local. The podcast delves into specific theories that suggest consciousness is not bound by the brain or by physical distance. Telepathy is evidence of a universal, interconnected consciousness fundamentally reshaping how we all understand reality. And isn't that what we all hear? Like, we're all connected. We're all connected from the same energy source, on the same grid, whatever. And that is, I think, speaking to that. The next episode, they talked about spelling as a gateway to telepathy. They called them spellers, I think, the ones that were using like the keypad or whatever. Many non-speakers use spelling or facilitated communication to express thoughts, which often contain information that they could not have known by conventional means, which raises the question of whether their communication involves telepathic access to knowledge. And then just speak with all these parents of non-speaking autistic children, just talking about how they often experience a deep telepathic bond with their own kids. Like, so many different parents would be like, honestly, I was afraid to even come out and like admit this, or like, I thought I was the only one and I didn't realize there was a whole community of parents who communicate 100% telepathically with their autistic children.
The parents?
The parents can telepathically communicate back and forth with their child, which I find very fascinating, where they seem to intuitively know their child's thoughts and feelings, and the bond appears to go beyond traditional parent-child intuition. The next episode, the science of it all. Despite decades of anecdotal reports and research, telepathy is completely dismissed by most scientists and as pseudoscience. The podcast argues for a reevaluation of the phenomena in light of the overwhelming evidence for the non-speaking individuals. And the last episode, non-speakers are slowly gaining platforms to share their stories, which could lead to a paradigm shift in how society views autism, communication, and human potential, which I am honestly here for. Like, let us all come together right now over me. It's just time. It's just time. Can you imagine if we could all communicate telepathically? I feel like we would just all have a better understanding of one another. And just like without even talking, just like, oh, yes, I see you.
But that could be chaotic.
But I also feel telepathy is like reserved for those who are open, It's not like you can
those
like
who want to tune in.
Yeah, you can't just like be infiltrating everyone's like minds and whatever. And like swaying your like I'm not like manipulating your thoughts and like mind control, But it's like it makes sense that we're able to do this, and like society and government and whatever powers that be have attempted to stifle these abilities so that they can be in control, because without control, it's like they have no power, you know?
I mean, now I hear you. I'm just thinking, where would it lead?
I know, it's really interesting.
Because there's a lot of naysayers for sure.
Oh, I would say most people are like, that's not real.
Just be a weird thing to lie about or try and prove.
And like, what would the parents of these autistic children have to gain by admitting that they have a telepathic connection with their children? If anything, it empowers more parents who maybe have been confused or have had an extremely difficult time having no ability to communicate with their child or like come to an understanding or even feel like there's anyone in there to communicate with. A lot of yeah, parents struggle to communicate to where they're like, no one's like in there for me to even communicate with. It's just kind of like a tormented.
I mean, it's one of those things that people won't believe or until they experience or see it for themselves.
Yeah.
And that goes with almost anything.
Yeah. I looked into the
experiencing is believing.
The neuroscience of it all, in terms of what are the distinctive ways that autistic individuals process information and interact with the world maybe differently. Autistic brains often exhibit hyperconnectivity, which means too much communication in some regions, and then hypoconnectivity, which is too little communication in others. So it's just kind of like, again, different parts of the brain are firing in ways that ours are not.
Because why though?
Probably a lot of it is conditioning, I would imagine. But at the same time, it's not like their brains were conditioned to be like this. It's obviously that they were born this way.
Yeah. Because, like you said, it is a spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And surprisingly, a lot of people are on it.
Yeah.
Like artists.
Yeah, totally.
For the most part.
Some studies suggest that autistic brains may retain higher plasticity, which is the ability to rewire and adapt, which could explain a lot of the unique talents or exceptional abilities in math, music, and art. Amygdala, which is responsible for processing emotions, can be larger or showed altered activity, showing altered activity in autistic individuals, which could contribute to heightened emotional responses or anxiety. The FFA, which is the fusiform face area, which is responsible for recognizing faces, is maybe underactive, which explains why they may find it harder to interpret facial expressions or focus on faces. I feel like, honestly, they are just experiencing an entirely different world in their own minds that they are like barely tethered to reality. You know what I mean? They're like elsewhere.
Just curious what they see differently.
I know, like, what do their eyes see?
Yeah.
Like, are they seeing like auras? Are they seeing energy, magnetism? Can they see like magnetic energy or things that our eyes can't see?
Yeah.
I'd be really curious about that, actually.
Damn. And this was a podcast, and then it became. Where are the videos coming from?
The videos are on the podcast YouTube. So as they were recording each episode, they had cameramen there. They had a crew that were filming everything to kind of further prove that this wasn't altered, that this wasn't like bullshitted. Because it's like, obviously in a podcast, you're not seeing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you could say whatever. But they had witnesses. They had, I mean, there were some instances where it had to be a very like small crew or like one person, because the autistic individuals do get overwhelmed. They do get like sensory overload. And so they had to kind of be in like the right mind space for it. But it was very interesting. Also, what do you think about telepathy in animals?
Maybe like birds?
Yeah.
I mean, or like fish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when they all move
like
at the same time.
Well, also like animals are, I mean, obviously they have their own language, but
do they?
They're not like
I think
like,
they just,
like fish.
or like dogs. They talk And like body language, not necessarily.
Sure.
Like their barks aren't like a communication, or are
Mhm.
they?
Ruff, ruff means hi, Roger.
Roger.
But yeah, the podcast does draw parallels between telepathic abilities, abilities in humans and animals, suggesting that telepathy might be a natural but overlooked phenomenon potentially rooted in evolution. Like we have evolved to get farther and farther away from our telepathic abilities.
So, yeah, maybe. I mean, it does make sense because I just looked up our fish telepathy,
Mm-hmm.
and they have remarkable ways of communicating and coordinating behavior that might appear telepathic to us. And one of the mechanisms is like sensory communication. They have a lateral aligned system. It's a series of sensory organs along their sides that detect water movements, vibrations, and pressure changes.
Mm.
But that's the same thing with what's affected in people that are autistic.
Just sensory differences in
Yeah,
like
they're
sensory and
processing.
information processing.
Yeah,
Yes.
so there's, I mean, it's the sixth sense, right?
No. Sure. Yeah.
Or multiple senses.
Yes. I'm like, what is happening right now? Is that Sienna trying to get out?
Let me out. I don't
Prison
know.
break.
This allows them to sense the presence, movement, and even emotional state of nearby fish
Oh my God.
without direct visual or auditory cues.
That's actually crazy. They can
Their
understand.
organs, from their organs.
See, that's some shit.
That's, you
That's
would say, a
some shit.
superpower, yeah.
No, literally. The way we just do not fully realize.
Or how, the intelligence of
Anything.
like dolphins, right? Or,
Yeah. Pigs. Pigs are
Yeah.
smart. Are pigs telepathic? Look that shit
They
up
have
right now.
emotions too.
They have feelings. Because that'd be
Telepathic.
crazy.
Like fish, pigs have highly developed communication and social skills that might sometimes seem almost telepathic to humans.
Uh-huh.
Emotional sensitivity. They're highly attuned to the emotions and behaviors of other pigs and even humans. They sense stress, happiness, or fear through body language, vocalizations, and scent cues. That's another thing too. Like what
scent? If they can't talk, it's like their other senses are hyper. Like Daredevil, he can't see, but he can
That's what I'm about to
feel.
say. Yeah, a lot. If you lack something, a sense, others are heightened.
Yeah,
right?
To make up for it. Spidey sense.
In a sense.
Ooh.
I suppose you're right.
Ooh. Yeah, some of the episodes suggest that non-speaking individuals have access to dimensions beyond the physical, hinting at a reality where thoughts and consciousness transcend physical barriers like distance or death. It's all this other dimension, this other world. And they're just like barely tethered to this one. And probably see us and like think like, wow, these people really have no fucking clue like what life is really about. You know what I mean? Also, a lot of teachers recounted witnessing telepathic communication in the classroom. Like a lot of the teachers were on the pod that were like, there's just no explanation for this. One story includes a non-speaking student responding to a teacher's unspoken thoughts. Like the teacher would like think something in their head and they would literally like ask a question or like respond to what they had said in their head. And oh my God, there was one, I don't know if it was a mother or a teacher, who said that they had a dream. And in the dream, one of the autistic children came right up to them. And I don't know if they held up a playing card, they held up something like to their face and just like nonverbal communication, telepathically, just like communicated something in the dream. And then the next day, are you listening?
Yeah, sorry.
The next day, in real life, outside of the dream, the kid comes up, does the same thing, holds up the card that they held up in the dream. Basically acknowledging like, that was me in the dream last night. We were communicating in our dreams.
How would they know that?
They were in the dream.
How do you do that?
They are tethered to a different
But what, we don't even know
dimension.
what fucking dreams are. So
I know, but it's like, it's kind of that astral ether space time, you know, in between.
Well, that's annoying. I've been having annoying ass fucking serving dreams.
You're a server even in your dreams.
Literally every day this week. It's just so annoying. Like I forget what
Maybe
seat number they're at, or
maybe that needs to be like a night ritual, like before you go to bed, like shedding the server of it all, like shedding your server self and any traumas.
I asked ChatGPT, generate a photo of what you think the telepathic realm looks like.
Oh my god, I can't believe taking any photos. It's so nuts.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's beautiful. We'll post that for our new episode.
And then it said,
brought to you by AI art.
You can add, it says, select the modification number, add more intricate neural network patterns, and enhance the portal's glow to make it more central. Adjust the color palette to include more green and pink tones for a softer, more harmonious look. What do you think?
Harmonious. That first one sounds... Yeah, let's enhance the portals. Let's
I might need to take that, actually.
Wait, what is it?
It might be my old apartment.
Uh-oh. Wait, why are they calling you?
Let me see if it moved out. Hello?
One moment, please.
Hello? Never mind, spam. It's creating an image right now. But that's what it's funny too, like the telepathic. The telepathic realm kind of looks like
space
and interdimensional.
Let me see it one more time.
Areas. Well, I just did an update.
He's working on it.
Yeah, he was
cooking.
He was generating.
So this is exactly what I would think. Where
that's why it's funny because like we could be like in one of these dots.
So what is? Do you think that's the sun, or do you think that's source in the middle? And that you see
light
that like
consciousness
thing that's like coming from it. It's like those are the souls that are coming down onto the grid. That looks like a grid in the middle. Some sort of.
It does that because it does look like a horizon.
Yeah, that is the grid in which we all are connected.
Or this is like a realm connecting to that one.
This is giving sacred geometry. It's giving space. It's giving all those little connected lines to all the stars. Like all the stars are connected. There's literally a grid of consciousness.
Yeah, cosmic.
Ask him what the light in the middle is. And don't say like, is that God? Just be like, what is the star in the middle? Because it's giving sun, but it's also giving a source of consciousness that we all stem from.
Ooh. I was typing good
there.
Talk
to me, Daddy. Talk to me, Chatty.
The source of light in the middle is designed to represent a glowing portal, symbolizing the central connection point of telepathic minds. Yeah, so like what we always thought about, like light, a big ball of light consciousness.
Just pure consciousness, love and light.
So maybe that's what they're connecting to, just the core of
consciousness,
all life.
So if they
core of all energy.
If they can just quickly like tap into the source, and that is all that is, that makes sense that they can literally whip out any language.
You could even argue that picture looks like brain neuropathic.
100%. The brain is almost, you mean, like neuro connectivity.
Yeah.
I'm not neuropaths.
It emits radiant energy and beams of light, reflecting the idea of thought waves. Yeah, that's cool. Or consciousness merging in the telepathic realm. The portal acts as a metaphorical gateway or nucleus for the exchange of mental energy and communication.
So literally telepathy.
Joss, that's what the first initial question was.
So what you're describing is what I'm
what you're describing is a telepathic realm. Like, that's what I asked it to draw.
These are nerves. This is giving me a similar vibe.
Yeah. But like to like even zoom in further, you know?
No,
like
I know.
The activity in a nucleus or something, right? Which is so
stem cell. It's like all the same shit.
But also, what's that one movie?
Peripheral neuropathy.
She's cooking. Yeah, space is almost
like
a brain.
Neurons in the nervous system.
Merge all that together, right?
Just what is it called? What is it called when it's something you keep going in and it's the same shit?
What's the doc? Oh, Inception.
It's no, but it's like a sacred geometry phrase or like some sort of like
infinity.
No, what is the motherfucker? Hold on.
The Pythagorean theorem. No, but
it's fuck.
Dong. What's that one Dr. Seuss?
Fractals?
That one Dr. Seuss movie where
Lorax.
Yeah, where
you just keep going in and in and in.
There's like a whole world in the Poland.
Yeah, the puff. The little dandelion.
Dandelion, yeah.
Yeah. Dandelion.
I mean, I think about that a lot in our reality.
Okay, a fractal is a complex geometric shape that can be split into parts, each of which is a smaller copy of the whole. So the brain is a fractal of the universe. You know what I'm saying? Caden wasn't listening.
Yeah, the brain is a fractal of the universe.
A property known as self-similarity. Fractals often appear irregular or fragmented at first glance, but they have a repeating structure at every scale. So no matter how zoomed in you get, no matter how zoomed out you get, it is repeating.
Well, that's what I'm saying with us. Like, what if we are just in a blade of grass?
Yeah.
Our universe.
And it's just, the more you zoom
out,
someone
else's.
It's the same shit.
That's why it's, oh God, that's where your brain gets hurt.
Infinite complexity. Fractals can be infinitely detailed, meaning their patterns continue to repeat or change as you zoom in indefinitely.
But that's why it's kind of a calming realization of that there is infinity, but everything is like one and connected.
Yes. You zoom out, you're looking at the same shit. So like we're humans zoomed in, right? Zoom out all the way in the universe and then zoom in all the way in our brains. And they look the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We are we are a zoomed in fractal of like the greater universe.
We are a particle of the cosmic realm.
The cosmic dust.
We're
a piece of dust in the cosmic.
So it asked if they would want it.
They. Oh my God.
Chad.
He's taking over.
Would you like me to adjust its appearance or symbolism further? I'm like, sure, go right ahead.
Go right ahead, big boy.
I'll explain it. Oh, I'll show you first.
I have more on fractals.
Cool. Which is funny because haven't we talked about this before? Fractals?
Probably in our space episode. We talked a little bit about this.
Which was also pretty relevant because then there was like another... So this is the one he intensified.
It's giving mountains.
But look at like the neuro like lanes.
Yeah, the lines. That is cool. What are those orbs? What are those bubbles?
He said
we should post all of these.
Yeah.
In a slide.
The central glowing portal has been transformed into a radiant, intricate mandala, symbolizing the connection of minds with a deeper sense of harmony and cosmic energy, which rings true to me.
Ring-a-ling-a-ling.
The light and patterns now enhance significance as the focal point of the telepathic realm. Yeah, so wow, I feel like we are in an inception.
Yes.
Of thought
source.
We're fractaling right now.
I'm gonna go harder on the fractal.
I'm gonna fractal so hard.
Okay.
Go on, fractals.
Unlike regular geometric shapes like squares or circles, fractals often have fractional dimensions. So, for instance, a line has one dimension, a plane has two dimensions, but a fractal can have dimensions like 1.5.
Oh, I don't know if I like that.
It could be decimals. Okay, the other thing I like, and I've thought this since I was a child, I'm like, why do roots look like veins, look like lightning bolts? Like, why are all of those repeating? Because many fractals occur naturally, such as the branching of trees, coastlines, clouds, snowflakes, lightning bolts. These patterns are a result of simple processes repeated over time.
Oh my gosh, that just reminded me of something.
And I just forgot.
And it's gone. Maybe if I go back in the telepathy realm.
The Mandelbrot set, a famous fractal created using simple equations that repeat infinitely. If you look up a Mandelbrot, like, you'll know what I'm talking about. A Sierpinski triangle, a triangle divided into smaller triangles repeatedly. I've seen that.
Have you seen the way like the trees in the Amazon grow? They leave like a little bit of space.
Yes, the perfect amount of space in between.
And then if you look at it from like the ground up, it looks like streams and rivers.
It's
just like
it's like looking up or looking down. The patterns are repeating.
Natural phenomenons that occur that relate to
I mean, that's literally what he's saying. Coastlines, their jagged, irregular shapes are self-similar at different scales. You zoom into the coastline, you're seeing the same lines and jagged, whatever, edges. You zoom all the way out, you're seeing the same thing. They're self-similar. Blood vessels. The branching of arteries and veins resembles fractals as well, which is, I just said it. This makes me feel smart. Fractals are used to model complex systems such as weather patterns, the stock market fluctuations, and the spread of diseases. So you look at something micro, and then you can zoom out and make assumptions and predictions based on a macro scale. Because they're fractals. That's probably how they can predict weather and shit. They look at a micro scale, and then they can zoom out, and it'll be the same thing, just more widespread. The spread of diseases. That is interesting. Whoa.
Whoa, indeed.
I want more AI art.
And what do you want me to prompt it to? Should I say with these prior images add fractals?
Or just say, like, how is this a fractal of our brains?
Yeah, and I guess the images kind of prompt inspiration. Yeah, prompt.
That's a fractal. No, I'm just kidding. Everything now in my life, I'm gonna be like, is that a fractal? No, but that's the word that I was looking for. So it's just satisfying.
There's almost not a word though to describe, I guess, the sense of beauty of all.
Beauty of all things, yeah. But that's the thing. It's got to be
maybe
this beautiful.
Maybe that's what love is.
Exponential on a grander scale.
Holy shit!
What?
This one pickled my pickle.
Oh no!
You ready?
No. I'm scared.
Just make sure that.
Show me, show me to me, please.
The anticipation of our listeners.
Oh my God!
But I think it's. I mean, look at the common.
Look at the lines.
The
look at
spheres, though.
That looks like leaves.
Well, people would then almost describe the center part as what you see when you're on ayahuasca.
So this outer thing is that ball representing the universe, and then the more you zoom in, and it's going into our brains.
It explains.
Oh my God, Kaden! I just said, give me a photo of what the source of consciousness looks like.
It scared me.
And we have different accounts. Do you not agree?
Yeah. What did you say? The same thing?
And I had a different prompt.
Whoa.
Kaden.
Pretty similar. I wonder where it's basing this information off.
I just said, give me a photo of what the source of consciousness looks like.
The source of consciousness. So different prompts.
Yes, different prompts entirely. Blending cosmic and neural elements to symbolize interconnectedness.
The source of consciousness?
Yes.
So we kind of just showed.
They are the same photo.
In a different way. But what you see is like spheres and trees, or what it looks like trees and growth and roots. Yeah, it's.
Roots, lightning, veins.
I mean, we are the epiphany of being rooted.
And that's like the flower of life. No, it's like giving flower.
Yeah, a blooming.
Your prompt was what exactly? Just now, to get that
Show how this is a fractal of our brains.
So literally brains are fractals of the universe.
How is the telepathic realm? Or how could it be a fractal
and
of our
I
brains?
Just asked, what does the source of consciousness look like? Which is obviously source and are connected to our brains. But it literally said, blending cosmic and neural elements to symbolize the interconnectedness and mystery of the mind and universe.
So mine says...
So there is an interconnectedness.
Which everyone needs to realize or understand. Or try to just accept. Preach. So my explanation, the telepathic realm now incorporates elements that closely resemble the intricate structure of the human brain. The central mandala, like portal, has fractal patterns inspired by neural pathways, and the surrounding designs evoke branching networks of thought and consciousness. The background blends galaxies with close-up neural textures, reinforcing the connection between the cosmos and the mind.
So that's the thing.
So
our brains are literally one with the universe.
I mean, one could argue this is the basic foundation of grounding and meditation.
No, totally. Just connecting, being more aware, like heightening your awareness to be more connected.
I mean, if you're connected to the earth, you're connected to the cosmos.
The earth is in the cosmos. It's a floating ball.
We are the cosmos.
In space. Like,
oh my God. That's the thing. I'm in the cosmos right now.
I'm in a cosmos. This is
That's
blowing
the
my
first time
mind.
that's been said ever, I think.
I think in the history of man. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. This is cool though.
I feel good about how we've like where we've gone with this, conversation.
Yeah. No idea where it was gonna go. TBH.
That's fine.
But this is so cool. I mean,
So
how lucky are we to just?
we're so lucky. I'm so lucky. And then I literally just said after he showed me this photo, right? I just was, how does this relate to? Because obviously we've been talking about the telepathy tapes.
Yeah.
And he said this visual represents the conceptual source of consciousness, merging elements of science, spirituality, and interconnectedness. The energy sphere is at the center. There's a glowing sphere that symbolizes the central point of consciousness, probably that we are literally all connected to and drawing from. Often theorized as a unified field of awareness or the origin of all thoughts, emotions, and perceptions. I have heard before that ideas are literally just floating balls around everyone. And it is up to the individual
topic
to
of discussion. Where do ideas come from, right?
Ideas, I think, come from here, this ball of light, and they're just floating around like little balls or orbs around us. And then it's up to the individual to put action and grab onto one of the ideas or be open to it enough to where it comes to you. And then it's our responsibility to put inertia behind it.
Or just tuning into your potential.
Yes, totally. You have to tune your brain like a radio. So this is akin to the idea that consciousness arises from a centralized source. So that's why people say, like, people refer to source the same way they refer to God. Like, that is the creator.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, how people make this, how you can, I guess, argue to attach these certain principles to religious aspects.
And I think that religion is just people's way of explaining all of this because they can't wrap their mind around it otherwise. And so it's helpful to have like a personification, a human that we can, you know what I mean? Like we understand humans. So like personifying energy source as a person to better understand. And if that's what people need to better understand and feel connected to source, I'm okay with that.
I mean, of course, that's just a general explanation of that.
Yes. Yes. But I'm also like, where I don't like religion is where it then seeks to like have power and control and like asserting opinions into other people's lives, like because that's what your belief is. You know what I mean? It's like that's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line.
Because there's also, I mean, would you believe there's like true good and evil?
I do, and I think that evil. I have heard some sort of like.
So in the cosmic sense, where does evil come from?
I don't.
When this all looks positive.
What if like evil is something that has to be okay? I heard some like the psychic kid.
Maybe
there's
comes
this
from
kid
the
on
black
TikTok
holes.
who's like low-key psychic, and he said that bad energy is like created from us. Like we have a bad thought or we do a bad action, and that creates this like ball of bad energy, and that is like evil. It's not necessarily a demon. Again, personifying it into a being isn't necessarily accurate. It's more of just like these balls of energy.
Huh.
Energy.
Well, I guess you need both because then balance wouldn't exist.
Well, also in the 3D realm, it's like this is the dimension in which we live. So if we're going to manifest negativity in the 3D realm, an action or a thought has to take place to then create that reality. Like if our thoughts are our reality and our actions are generating the energy that is all that is in this dimension, that would make sense. So back to the photo, I was just asking, how does the photo relate to like all these things? And it said, yeah, those branching interconnected patterns reflect the neural networks in the brain where consciousness might emerge from the complex activity of billions of neurons working together. The patterns symbolize the fractal-like nature of brain activity and how it scales infinitely to process information. I mean, I basically feel like I'm saying all the same things over and over again at this point, but basically fractals represent infinite complexity, self-similarity, paralleling how consciousness operates at various levels from personal awareness to collective human experience. And they reflect the idea of repeating interconnected systems in nature, brains, and the universe. And also, yeah, what's with the light and the colors? So it's like the radiant gold, blue, and purple hues convey the vibrancy and intangibility of consciousness, representing energy, thought, and transcendence, which is inspired by the idea that consciousness might involve energy fields or vibrations. And that's the thing. Vibrations, energy, frequency, like there is color. There is like aren't like the spectrum of light.
Yeah, but there's also light we can't see.
100%. And like
So
colors
what
we
is that
cannot
light?
see.
Yeah.
The frequency determines the color of light within the electromagnetic spectrum. It's going to take me some time to really wrap my mind around that.
That's a lot.
Light waves have a specific wavelength. Light is a type of electromagnetic wave.
I mean, light is a frequency.
Light is an electromagnetic wave.
Yeah.
Consisting of oscillating electric and magnetic fields. And the frequency refers to how many wave cycles pass a point. And then waves, I'm like the ocean, you know? Everything is connected. The frequency refers to how many wave cycles pass a point per second, and that's measured in hertz. So when you're like, oh,
yeah, the science of sound is
sound
and color
and wavelength and frequency, like, is really crazy.
I mean, again, back to
this. It's like the speed of light equals wavelength times frequency.
Huh?
So like hertz is measuring the frequency, and the frequency is how frequent the wave cycles pass a point per second. That makes sense to me. I feel like I'm wrapping my mind around this. As wavelength decreases, frequency increases, and vice versa. The color of visible light is determined by its frequency or wavelength. For example, red light has a lower frequency and a longer wavelength. Blue-violet light has a higher frequency. So when you see these pictures of, we're like, oh, what does the cosmos look like? It's a lot of blue and violet. That's because it's extremely high frequency.
Well, yeah.
Give it to me.
I'm just cooking over here.
What you got?
I first said, show how this can all be incorporated into the existence of good and evil, yin and yang. Uh-huh. Then it showed one that was like,
didn't ring true.
Still, it was like the yin and yang was a little too obvious. The symbol itself. So I said, do this without making that obvious, just what the balance of all life means. And I'll show you. Sorry, listeners, you're missing out.
We really got to save these photos. I'll do a carousel with all of our AI art. Okay.
Shows that.
A lot of spectrum of light and frequency.
Yeah, back to your...
Let's see those eyeballs?
Yeah, or...
Let's giving eyeball.
Universes.
Yeah.
And then... So imagine that's like the good and the...
Okay. The higher frequency and the lower frequency. Because that's all it is at the end of the day.
Yeah, because it says the central mandala-like portal radiates soft, harmonious gradients of gold, blue, and purple light, representing interconnectedness and equilibrium. Neural pathways branch outward like intricate tree patterns symbolizing growth and unity among all beings. The swirling, translucent atmosphere transitions seamlessly from cool blues and greens to warm reds and oranges, reflecting the dynamic cycle of creation, destruction, chaos, and harmony. The cosmic backdrop emphasizes the infinite cycle of life and energy with fractal patterns and galaxies. So, I mean, I just feel like deep down we all know.
Yeah, this rings true. And also chakras, right?
Infinite cycle of life and harmony, like balance of.
I think about how chakras are considered energy.
I mean, that's what some of these look, those
in the body. That's what I'm saying.
These look like chakras.
Those look like chakras, and like they're all a color as well. Like the root chakra's red.
Yeah, green.
Sacral is orange, like working from the bottom up.
Bottoms up, bottoms up. Let me see you go.
That's what the song's about.
Energy
Energy flows through the chakras like water through a river. If one is blocked or imbalanced, it can affect the flow of energy to the others. So that's why it's important to align and balance your chakras for a smooth flow of prana, aka chi. Which you can actually do with acupuncture. You can like really get the chi flowing.
It just It's weird because this can all seem so woo-woo, you know?
I know.
And people...
But just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's literally what's going on. And that's kind of how I feel about astrology and the power of the stars and the planets.
Well, it's
all in this. It's on a macro scale.
It's people just won't try either, you know, like,
or open their minds to believe.
I mean, everyone does feel better when they step outside in the sun, right? You know, like it's just that is an act of grounding. You can even ground on cement because that is literally all made of earth
natural material. Yeah. The third eye chakra represents intuition, insight, and perception, and integrates wisdom from all of the other chakras for a higher understanding. So I didn't know that. That's interesting. And then your crown chakra is your spiritual connection, enlightenment. It links the individual to universal consciousness, completing the energy flow. So it literally goes from the feet, from earth, your earth, right? Like goes into your feet. And then that like energy flows through and then up into the cosmos. To universal consciousness.
I'm trying to flow my energy right now.
I'm trying to fly away from here.
Hug a tree or something.
No, literally. We're going to have to go outside after this.
I know. I was thinking about blasting like a crazy frequency when we're done.
Oh, love it. It says to achieve balance, you can practice things like yoga, meditation, breath work, Reiki, chakra visualization to help restore and maintain the flow of energy through the chakras. Balanced chakras allow energy to move freely, creating harmony between body, mind, and spirit. So if there's anything you've taken away, it's to do some yoga and breathe.
Yeah.
No, but truly that AI art like really did it for me.
I think, a topic we brought up maybe last episode. Just forgetting to really breathe.
Mm-hmm.
That's a power on its own.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just asking show me the frequency of the earth.
Show me to me, please.
Show it to me, please. What's your guess? What is going to come up?
What it looks like?
Maybe I'm just guessing more of the theme of pathways, right? And
I feel like it's going to be green.
Oh.
Wait, what was the prompt exactly?
Show me the frequency of the earth, but it actually has the earth in it.
That makes sense. Is it green?
There's a ring of green.
That's what I visualize. It's like a little magnetic field around the earth with the green. Oh, okay. Yeah, I imagine blue and green, but that's also kind of a giveaway because that's the color of the earth. I mean, that's kind of hot. Look at those little waves.
It's what's the word? It's
wave-like.
I feel like I can feel what I'm seeing.
And it's also like visualizing
we also
vibration.
Are listening to that as well.
No, I know, but like that's like a good depiction of vibration. Those like themes coming from the bottom.
I mean, this is gathering all information ever from the internet and it's coming up with these.
Yeah,
right?
It's pretty cool.
I'm assuming that's how it works.
Every input and everything it can access
in seconds.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like there's a baby.
Whoa, that sounds like time's up. How long have we been going?
An hour, about.
Oh, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Okay, last little exercise. I'm gonna picture something in my head and send it to you. Okay,
what's gonna happen?
I know. I bet you did. Hold on.
We failed at this before.
Okay, I'm ready.
Wait, hold on.
Should I give you like? Is it a shape? Is it a color? Is it an animal? Should I give you like what it is? And then
let's go animal.
That's already what I was thinking. So I have an animal in my head.
Okay, I thought of one first, but then I thought about a second one, so I'll do the first one because it's like you gotta follow your gut, you know.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna say it at the same time. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Giraffe. Whale.
Yeah.
That sounds like whales.
Hey, it's okay. Baby, we're almost done.
Dude, I think she's just tired.
She doesn't like being locked up.
Well, I'll try.
Oh, okay, we'll do one more.
Whale. Damn. Okay, let me really think. Okay, I got one. Sending it to you now.
Okay, hold on. I always think every time these come up, like I think of the same fucking animal.
I know, me too. But if it's my second choice, I'll let you know. But I'm thinking.
I always think of this. This is I'm just gonna say what I thought.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Lion.
Okay.
Closer in the kitty family.
I always think of elephant.
I always think monkey or lion.
Oh.
Those are just like, you say animal, those are the two animals that come to
Those
my
are
head.
the
Okay, I'm going to think of one more animal.
Okay, well then, okay. Should we specify sea or land?
Land.
Okay. Wait, let me think. I'm thinking about what I'm thinking, but
I
need to
know.
think
I need to think what you think.
Land animal. And you're sending it to me, right? Okay.
Ready? Just say one.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Rhino.
Zebra.
Oh my god, that was
God damn it!
That was my second one.
Maybe start going with your second.
Think about that? No, because
okay.
I thought about most of them. I'm like, zebra sounds stronger. Oh fuck! That was so cool.
That'd have been so nice. And then we cut the other ones and act like that was the first one we did.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. No.
Go see the sun today.
Go step in some grass. Go
Delilah.
breathe. Delilah.
Drink
all right,
some
my daughter's
water.
Unhappy. I gotta go get her.
I think that's how my sister can get grounded.
I was like, who's your sister?
Drink some water. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta get that flow going. You know what I'm saying?
How can you connect to the frequencies without your body being healed by what it needs?
You're so right. How can my chi be flowing if the water ain't flowing? You know what I'm saying?
Chibi?
Chibi.
Ligma? Do you know what that is?
Like my balls?
Damn it. Thought I was going to get you. All right.
Okay.
See you next Tuesday.
See
it's gonna
you
be
next
okay.
Tuesday. It's gonna be okay. Probably gonna do video next week.
Bye.